On Saturday, James Harden was frustrated all game long by Josh Hart going 2 for 18 on three-pointers. That frustration led to this hilarious moment of Harden throwing the ball down and angrily, and it bounced back to hit him in the face. Now, after the game, Harden was asked about this moment. Ooh, ow, take a listen. Ooh, ow.
You slammed the ball at the end of the first half. Did that hurt?
No, I got my beard, so it just protected it.
Harden is having a historic start to the season in the wrong direction as far as inefficiency from three, volume of three. The Rockets were able to get the win this weekend thanks to Russ being brilliant. And despite Harden and thanks to the competition a bit, New Orleans is not a great team, but Harden's struggling.
What's the key to that? You just keep shooting? Just keep
Well, that's
keep
Harden's
shooting?
key.
So that's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
What do you tell him?
No, common sense would tell you to maybe try to get something easier.
Okay.
What they would, the conventional wisdom is try to get to the free throw line. That C's saying get an easy bucket, right?
Just get the two somehow. Don't worry about.
But as far as get your stroke going back, for most guys, we get the free throw line. But his free throw stroke is so different from his three-point shot, which he is really being affected by. It would appear the emphasis they're putting on not giving him the foul calls and calling him if he initiates the contact.
Keep shooting, James. Just keep doing it. Time for stories to start your morning. The Astros took down the Nationals 7-1 yesterday. They take a 3-2 World Series lead. Game 6 heading back to Houston Tuesday night on Fox. Nick, did the Astros wrap up a World Series this weekend with what you saw?
See, I don't think they wrapped it up, but they are back to being heavy favorites the way they were at the beginning of the series. We've seen road teams go 5-0. Obviously, the Nationals got a gut punch yesterday with the Scherzer news, but the story is the Nationals' bats went cold in Washington, scoring 1 run in each game, and the Astros hit .390 with runners in scoring position in Washington. That was the difference in this 3-game set.
Right. There was no chance that the Nationals were going to sweep the Astros, and now you're asking me, is this over with? Yeah, it's over with. Because there's no way the Nationals are going to sweep the Astros by winning 4. They won the first 2 there. Now they'd have to win the other 2 there. No, this Astros team, top to bottom, is too good, and the pitching that they've gotten has been too good.
Road teams 5-0 so far in the World Series. How about that? On to some football. Drew Brees returned for his first game in more than
Dusty won't be there.
Yeah,
5 weeks. Didn't miss a beat. Brees finished 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Saints take down the Cardinals 31-9. The Saints now an impressive 7-1 with a healthy and now rested Drew Brees. See how impressive was Brees in his return?
As if he didn't miss. If you didn't know, you weren't following the league, and you just picked up the stat sheet from his logs from game 1 until now, you've been like, wow, that was an amazing performance by him. But now, knowing that he did overcome the injury, and when he got injured, Jenna, he's so serious about his job. He stayed in Los Angeles to get the procedure and stayed there for 2 weeks. As far as straight rehab, 14 days, there with the therapist. That's part of the benefit of him being out there yesterday.
And I watched this game closely because I want to see how Brees looked, and Kyler's always fun. It took Brees an entirety of 1 quarter to knock the rust off. Once you got to early in the second quarter, he looked like the Drew Brees of old. When we heard he might be out 6 weeks, now he only missed 5. The fact that they went 6-0, the last time they lost was that loss against the Rams where he got hurt. It is unbelievable what they were able to do without him, and now they got him
And
back.
a lot of people were saying, oh, he shouldn't play. They can beat Arizona with Teddy. But you know something? We don't see greatness if he don't play. That's why I always push for guys, when you can play, or you're healthy enough, get yourself back in there. 273 yards passing.
All right, on to the Texans. It was a bittersweet 27-24 win for them over the Raiders yesterday as All-Pro defensive end J.J. Watt suffered a season-ending pec injury. Said on social media he felt absolutely gutted about having to shut it down for the season. See, how concerning is the injury for the 5-3 Texans?
Well, to think J.J. Watt was going to be healthy, it's been a long season since he's been healthy. But this does hurt their overall chances. Their offense is starting to come around. And even I see signs as far as Bill O'Brien managing the game. How they put this roster together is very, very promising. But this is going to leave because not only is J.J. hurt, Remember, they traded away Clowney.
Right.
So now, as far as elite rushers, they don't have
Whitney
one.
Merciless. It's now.
Yeah, he's a good football player, but he's not an elite rusher.
And every team is going to focus on stopping him as far as the pass rush, and they know that's all they're going to have to do. The Texans, listen, it took some Deshaun Watson brilliance for them to get this win. They were trailing for most of this game, most of the fourth quarter. But the other injury in this game, Laramie Tunsil left the game with a shoulder injury. They obviously don't have depth on their offensive line. Is as bad of a week where you get a win can be. That's what this was for the Houston Texans.
All right, moving on to the Panthers and the 49ers. Tevin Coleman went off for 105 rushing yards and 4 total touchdowns, 3 coming in the first half. And the Niners defense showed out once again, finishing with 7 sacks, 3 interceptions, bringing Kyle Allen back down to earth. Niners win big 51-13. They remain undefeated on the season. See, you were on this San Francisco bandwagon before any of us really jumped on. Are these Niners now officially a force to be reckoned with in the NFC?
Well, they play a style that is always in vogue in the league. Physically getting after the quarterback. They have so much talent on the defensive front. You knew ultimately Kyle Shanahan, he would get that offense squared away. But did they have enough talent offensively? Made the trade for Emmanuel Sanders. He comes in, makes an impact immediately after playing in a very, very similar offense. They create the turnovers, and they explode on the team. This is the best win that they've had. This is the only team, even though they did beat the Rams, there was no team that has faced them that's been hot. So it was nice for them to be able to measure themselves because everyone's like, oh, man, Kyle Allen. They shouldn't even put Cam Newton back in there. We'll see what people are saying this week. So it was a good test for them. The one thing going into this contest that I think we missed on was Kyle Shanahan had a lot of experience playing against Carolina's defense when he was in Atlanta. 2015 was his first year there as Atlanta's defensive coordinator. They had success, and he took that in the game plan and took advantage of some things, some tendencies that Carolina team does. But great win for San Francisco. Their quarterback played well enough, but the play calling of Kyle Shanahan, to me, with that defensive front, those are the 2 stories of this game.
And the ability to just continue pressing your advantage. You saw that you had an edge as far as their inability to stop your running game, and they never could adjust, they being Carolina. And San Francisco, up to and including the very end of the first half, Tevin Coleman rips one off for, 48 yards for a touchdown. The Niners ran the ball for 230 yards. They're running the ball this year 39 times per game to go along with just an elite pass rush. They had spent a ton of resources on that defensive line before this offseason. Nicky Bosa might be worth all those resources combined with his true. They've drafted a lot of guys high. He's the first one that, even though he was drafted that high, is overperforming to his draft position. Like the Niners, right? I'm not shocked that they won. I don't think anyone should be shocked that a team with a defense that good beat a backup quarterback. But for them to score 50, for them to dominate this football game the way they did, that to me was shocking, that this was not a competitive game. I thought this would be a close, low-scoring football game. It was anything but.
Nicky Bosa, 4 tackles.